and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today, the video is about spring garden chores for your houseplants. So adding to my seasonal gardening chores playlist here for spring. So there are various things you want to do in your garden in the springtime, in your indoor garden in the springtime. Actually, it's one of the busiest times of the year, so it's a very exciting time of the year because plants begin growing actively and they start putting on new leaves, they may start budding up if they're flowering plants, may even fruit if you're growing some fruiting plants, so it's a very exciting time. And it's a really good time to take the opportunity to do some really important things for your houseplants that will set them up for really good growth for the rest of the year. One of those things is repotting. So now is definitely the time to start repotting your houseplants. I have had a lot of people asking me over the last few months, is it time to to repot my houseplants yet? And in the dead of winter, generally speaking, it's not. Because plants are growing a lot slower then, but in the springtime is a perfect time. It's actually the absolute best time to pot up your houseplants, to repot, pot up, etc. your houseplants. So definitely want to do that in the spring. Before you do any repotting though, you want to do some other chores here. Check for pests and treat if needed. A really good tool for checking for pests. So say you look and you think, oh, it looks good, I don't see anything. A really good tool to use just in case is this is a hand plant lens, also a jeweler's loop. So look for either. And what you will be able to do and I have a video on how to use them as well and why they're a great thing to have in your houseplant toolbox. They will show you when you have very small pests, and they will even show you the bigger pests, but maybe you didn't notice it just by eyeballing it. But when you start to look, you're going to start to see things like the frass, which insect frass is insect poop. Okay, so it may be little black things on there. That's an indication that you could have some pests. So the jeweler's loop will show you a lot of things that are going on those leaves that you just can't see by just eyeballing it. So definitely check for pests and treat if needed. I do have a playlist I am continually adding to that shows you what to do about certain pests. Providing the link below as well. Okay, so along with looking for those pests and treating them right this time of year, give your plants a good cleaning. So either use a microfiber cloth, and I have a video on how to use this and why you want to do this. So either use something like this to clean off the leaves very well, like on this nice Schefflera here, or even better, give your plants a shower and then thoroughly dry them, or dry them as much as possible afterwards. If you live in an area of the country where you get spring showers, put them out in the rain for a little bit. Just be careful that the rain's not pounding too hard, because that could damage leaves and it could also knock soil out of the pot. However, rainwater is wonderful for houseplants. The rainwater itself is wonderful. I have a video on that as well. And the fact that it will clean the leaves very well for you as well. So you want to give them a nice, good spring cleaning for your houseplants. Okay. You also want to groom and prune them at this time of year to stimulate new growth. So this is another time of year, another thing to do at this time of year that is something, it's the best time of year to prune your houseplants is the springtime, because they are actively growing. They will regrow quickly where you prune them. So if you were thinking all winter how you wanted to prune a houseplant and you haven't, this is the right time, the best time to prune them. into the early summer months works well. You can sometimes do a little pruning in fall as well, but as mentioned, spring is the ideal time. Okay. Also at this time of year, as mentioned, I mentioned repotting. Also, if you have a plant that maybe doesn't necessarily need a full repotting, but the soil has gone down a little bit in the pot, or it's a really big plant and you're not quite ready to repot it. Maybe you repotted it last year, but you're thinking, well, I don't know if it really needs it again this spring. I'd rather wait another year. You can top dress, and I have a video on that as well. And top dress is putting new soil with added amendments, added fertilizer on the top of the plant, on the top part of the plant. Some plants will have settled a little bit, and there'll be some room up there that you would want to cover that area anyway, because of roots could be showing. Or you can take off a little bit of the old soil very carefully, not to disturb roots, and then put some new soil on top. So that's known as top dressing. So that's another thing you can do. And fertilizing. It's time to start regular fertilizing in the spring months. I do have my Green Gourmet houseplant food. I'll put the link there for you below as well. So you want to use something that's organic because they are milder for your plants. They're much better for your plants. I've done videos and mentioned this a lot on why you do want to use organics on your plants. So starting a regular fertilizer regimen in the spring months is great. Generally speaking, rule of thumb, about once a month. For watering, for fertilizing your plants. You always want to be watering them, even in the winter time. But for fertilizing them, about once a month. Some plants are going to need a little bit more. Some plants are going to need a little bit less. I have an extensive collection of how to grow various types of plants, so you can also look that up too if you have specific questions. For instance, there is one on growing Chef Lara as well. Okay, so. That is about it for what you would do in the springtime. I mentioned, I haven't mentioned pruning. No, I did mention pruning, but staking the plant to make sure it's not falling as it grows quickly, that sort of thing, if necessary. Checking your lighting at this time of year too. The winter months have different lighting. There's a different trajectory of the lighting coming through windows in winter, and it changes as we move into spring. So you may find that one window is a lot sunnier all of a sudden, or it could be that a window could be less sunny at this time of year because the sun, because of the trajectory of the sun. So keep that in mind too. Check your lighting. You may need to move plants around a little bit to get the optimum light that they need for good growth. So that is it for spring garden chores. Let me know if you have any other questions about anything that you should or could be doing at this time of year. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.